What if I told you you can have the same opportunities as an American if you're not an American citizen from almost all countries around the world? I frequently hear people say, you have so much opportunity because you are American. And I'm like, okay, there are definitely ways to up your business without you being an American. If you want to know, stay tuned for this video. Now, I'm not going to say everyone is going to have the exact same opportunity. As with any market, you have skill, luck, maybe you have some investments that other people don't have, but there are ways to level out the playing field no matter where you are around the world. So I'm going to show you how you can overcome some of these roadblocks you may be experiencing without being an American, not having a US bank account, not having a US address, not having a US phone number. And this can really help you level up your e-commerce business. Now, a disclaimer. Before we go into this, if you are within the blacklisted countries, I can't help you. I don't make the rules, and they just won't allow you to open a bank account in the US. So if you are part of those blacklisted countries, I'm sorry, this video is not for you, and I'll post them on the screen so you have them. You truly may have less of an opportunity than everybody else. Now note that these methods do take money to start. I keep hearing excuses, and people sometimes don't understand that you need to put in some work and money to get results. Now, I'm not telling you to put your whole life savings into doing this, but I personally took multiple side jobs, and I'm still taking actually multiple side hustles to fund my business and my dream. And you can also do the same thing a step at a time. So don't feel like you need to have all this done in the beginning. You can take it little by little. You can consider teaching English, copywriting, opening a Fiverr service, go freelancing, deliver pizza, do some landscaping, go plant some seeds in a farm, whatever it takes. Take the actions now to fulfill your dreams later. Anyways, here's what I would do if I was not an American. First, I will make a US company abroad. Stay until the end and I will show you how to do this quite easily. With a US company, you are treated almost like an American. Your business will have a tax ID number that is recognized by the US government. You will have to pay American taxes on that business, of course, but this can all be done remotely. You are also able to get a virtual address, a US phone number, and much more for your business without you being in America. Then you will need a US bank account, preferably a business bank account. Plenty of services are offered to non-US citizens, especially if you have a company in the US, for example, Mercury or even Payoneer. You will need a place to hold funds and to be able to pay taxes on your earnings. You will also be able to freely send wire transfers to your supplier overseas. Next, I will consider opening a Stripe account or some kind of payment processor that you can use for your e-commerce store. You want to be able to process these payments online that can support most payments around the world. Fortunately, if you use a payment processor in the USA, their business model is quite attractive. If you make money, they make money. However, if you look for Chinese payment processors, they don't believe in that concept. They want the money first, so you have to pay yearly costs to maintain the platform, and they don't so much want to give you the freedom to be able to accept payments overseas because it's just very strict in China, to be frank. With a Stripe account, it has very flexible usage. You can invoice people directly. You can even set it up to have Alipay as an option to pay. So if you want to penetrate the Chinese market, or if you want to go into the Chinese market and accept Alipay as a payment and receive that payment in your US bank account, that is possible. After you've gotten your payment processor selected, in this case, I recommend Stripe, then I recommend get a Payoneer account under your company. This will allow you to create another US bank account to accept funds and also currencies like Euro, British Pound, etc. What I do is I have a Stripe account that is connected to my Payoneer, and from my Payoneer, I pay my Chinese suppliers the money I need to pay them for the product, and I keep the profits in my US bank account. And you can do this almost all around the world. But I have to mention for the Nigerian viewers, right now, Payoneer cannot send money to a Nigerian bank account. But if you have dollars easily accessible in a Payoneer or a PayPal account, you can figure out what to do from that point. What I like about Payoneer is that you can pay Chinese suppliers directly in their bank account with RMB at a great rate. And this actually gives you a huge advantage for negotiating. If you can offer a Chinese supplier to pay in their local currency in Chinese yuan, they will most likely stay for business and give you a lower price when it comes to negotiating versus paying them in dollars or another currency that they have to open a special bank account and that they have to do all these procedures for to accept the cash into that account. So something to let you know. Then lastly, after you have all these, I would set up my store. Whether it's a Amazon FBA, you go 100% solo, a Shopify, a WooCommerce, whatever, Shopee, you can name them all. You can easily hire a developer on Fiverr to help you realize your e-commerce shop at a pretty cheap rate. Starting out, I would niche down to something you particularly like in your niche, and that you have a circle of friends and family that are willing to buy the product just to test it out. Because once you have it set up, then you can have the whole supply chain set up where you have a website that can accept payments from around the world, and you have very convenient ways to pay yourself and the Chinese suppliers. And with the right freight forwarder, you can have almost a limitless business if you play your cards right. I would also suggest picking a few markets at first and then expanding. For example, if you just want to focus on the Nigerian market, by all means do so. Focus on the Nigerian market. If you just want to focus on the US market, start with the US market, test the logistics process, test the supply chain, and then after a few months you see it's going smoothly, consider expanding to other markets like Europe. You can do the UK, South America, wherever you please. From this shop, you can consider using organic or paid marketing. I've been putting out content for a while, so I first use my organic audience to see if there's an interest in the market. But of course, there are paid advertising like Facebook. You can use your friends and family just to get started. And if you have a US company with a US address under a US phone number, you can easily register for those advertising platforms on Facebook, YouTube, and Google, etc. It's pretty easy. So essentially, once you have a US address, a US bank account, a business ID number, and a phone number, it's pretty easy. It's just time consuming and takes effort to set up. So stop making excuses. It's possible to get a US bank account, an address, and a phone number without being an American. You don't have to be a citizen. You can still get your business started around the world or in your country. Personally, I am physically in China, but I am running this business as if it's in the USA with the virtual address and all that. It works. So I'm only sharing this experience because this is something that I've heard from my subscribers saying, oh, you have so much opportunity. You're an American citizen. You can do all these things. You can too. It just takes a little bit of investment and money and time to get it started. But do it. Don't be scared to take that step to reach your dream.
Do it! Just do it!
As promised, for you guys that want to know how to open a US company step by step with the bank account, the phone number, the address, and all that, definitely check out this video right here that goes into great detail about each and every step. Let's make sourcing easy.